All right. Thanks, Bosco.
Yep.
Welcome to the FCADC Studio 1900 for another edition of Mike on the Mic. I am Mike Ross, and I, along with our producer, David Mackley, a.k.a. Bosco, interview local movers, shakers, and policymakers about issues that matter to all of us, or at least to some of us. Nothing is off limit.
Nothing.
Today is mandatory listening for the business teachers in the 6 public school districts of Franklin County, at the university, Shippensburg University and Wilson College, and Penn State Mont Alto. Well, even though they're going to be going away, they should still be listening to this, because this is going to be an opportunity for all of you out there who are teaching about or wanting to be entrepreneurs. We have the leading expert in our part of the world who's going to talk to you about that today. So I am happy to welcome Robin Burtner, the director of the Small Business Development Center at Shippensburg University, who is going to be talking about small business and the like. So Robin, welcome.
Thank you very much. We've known each other for a long time.
We have.
Almost 19 years.
We've been doing this for a long time, and but we are happy that you are here today, and we're glad in this setting because this is going to be an opportunity for you to share your experiences and the like. And I have a granddaughter in 11th grade, and I already told her that she has to listen to this at the end, and she has to tell her teacher about it.
Oh.
Okay, so she's in an entrepreneur class at the magnet school, and so I think this is going to be fun. So we're going to get started here, and as noted in the introduction, you are a tireless advocate for small businesses and serve as the executive director of the Small Business Development Center. So tell us about you. What's your background, and where'd your passion for helping small business come from?
Yeah. So I grew up in a small business family. My dad was a business owner, and he had a dental lab.
Okay.
He made crowns and bridges. He actually did it for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Steelers, all of them. He would.
Oh, really?
make their-
Like implants for the famous.
Yeah, but and other people,
Okay, yeah.
not just always famous. But he actually had it in the house. So I grew up seeing dental impressions everywhere, and he had a lab. He had employees. He was an S corp, and I used to see his taxes all the time, and I just kind of.
So
got into it.
So he obviously started a small business.
Mhm.
What was his passion to do that? Why not go work for somebody else? What
Mm.
made him want to do this on?
That's a really good question. I never, I think it was just because he was. It's not something that usually go work elsewhere. Usually they are smaller labs.
Mhm,
Actually,
mhm.
my cousin has one out in Montana too. He has the same type of business. I just think it was something that he could do in his house. My dad is very technical. He likes the little details. Now, did he like being a business owner? Yeah, he liked it in his house. Now, he didn't like all the hats you have to wear, but
Mhm.
he did it. And he started it when 1975, the year I was born, and had it all the way up until a few years ago.
Mhm.
So.
No, well, that's great. So you grew up in the Pittsburgh area?
So actually, where did I actually grow up? I lived in northern Michigan in Traverse City.
Okay, that's a cool sound.
It is. It is. It was. I grew up 3 blocks from Lake Michigan. And then my mom sold the house, and I could kill her still to this day because it appreciated in so much value.
Yeah. Yeah.
compared to
That's part of that small business.
Get a lot of snow there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. Yep.
yeah, okay.
Yep. And it wasn't posh then. Like Madonna didn't have a house there. All those. It
Mm-hmm.
was just a normal town.
Just the Burtners.
Well, that wasn't my name then.
Okay.
That's what. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And then, but then my dad was down in Morgantown, West Virginia, and
Okay.
so in the middle of high school, I moved to Morgantown, West Virginia,
Okay.
and lived with him. So I kind of went back and forth between northern Michigan, West Virginia, and then I ended up going to college at WVU.
Okay.
So I could get in-state tuition. Why not?
Why
Right,
not?
yeah.
It's a good school.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So how did I end up out here? Well, I got married. My husband was a business owner.
Okay.
I married the coffee shop owner
Mhm.
back in the early 90s. And he ended up getting work out here after he sold his coffee shop. And Next thing you know, got the job at the SBDC.
And you've been there for 19 years.
19 years. Have
That's-
kids, have family. Next thing you know, you're living here, and I love
Yeah.
it. I can't imagine living anywhere else.
Oh, that's great. Do you ever go back to Traverse City?
I do a couple of times. My brother lives in the UP with his family, and my
Okay.
nieces live in Traverse City. So I do go back there
Okay.
sometimes. It's not the easiest trip to make.
No, it's not. But once
Yeah.
there, it is a beautiful part of the
Oh my
world.
gosh, I know. I love it.
So are you a Detroit Lions fan?
No,
Green
no,
Bay, Green Bay Packers,
no. I was
Chicago Bears.
no. I was actually. Oh my gosh, there's somebody at my door.
It's all right.
That's okay. Amazon's working today.
Yeah, it is the holidays.
So,
It's probably one of my packages coming. No, I was actually always a Pittsburgh fan.
Okay.
I always loved the Penguins. So
so did your father have a dental background?
yeah.
Was he a dentist?
He went to dental school.
Okay.
He was in the military. That's how he met my mom, and he did all the dental work for the military, the Marines that were going
Okay.
off to Vietnam. And so my mom was a dental hygienist in the
Okay.
military. And
Oh,
so
that-
that's where he learned how to do it. And he just knew that it was a market that needed what he did.
No, that's great. So tell us, and we'll talk about the SBDC. But why do small businesses? Why do they matter?
Why do they matter? Well, they're everywhere that you look. I bet you can name half the people you know that have either at some point had a small business or have thought of one or shop at one, or we all frequent them. We go to the restaurants, we go to the stores. It's everywhere. And when you look at what the federal government says is the classification of a small business, it's up to 500 employees, depending on the
Right, right.
classification. Huge amount, right? Like
It is.
a lot of us are just thinking the small business is the one or two person down the street, and it's not. They could be up to that larger amount. And I can't even remember the statistic of how many small businesses there are, just in the country. But they're everywhere, and
Millions.
it's become a part of our community.
And
We
it's
shop them.
interesting. I always think about it in the context of some of the large businesses that we can all relate to locally, be it Manitowoc Crane or JLG Industries, those two specifically. They started as small businesses.
They did start a
I mean,
small business.
John Grove was building farm wagons when he started Grove, the Grove Cranes, but they started out as small little shops that just grew over time, and today they are large businesses. And but I saw that notion that you don't start with a large business, you start with a small business, and you build it from there.
Correct. You got to have that creativity and innovation and the risk and be willing to take it, which is that's the other reason why I really like working at the university too, is that I get to assist with that next generation of entrepreneurs. And
So when you see a student, can you distinguish or can you see something in someone when you meet them that says you have that entrepreneurial spirit, that creativity? Because in some cases, I mean, I guess the question is it a learned behavior or is it natural?
so
Or can it be both?
I think it's both. I mean, I'm not a psychologist, but I would say some people have that mentality when they come into it, right? They have those skill sets that you really need and they learn them. And then there's other people that don't have those skill sets, but they can take advantage of programs that are out there like ours, and learn, and be. The SBDC is here to educate you on how to become a better business owner. We don't have all the answers, but there's other programs too. And I think utilizing all of these programs, getting as much feedback and advice, these people can learn to become a business owner.
So what do you see inherent in somebody who wants to start a business? Because oftentimes I think you have to be a risk taker.
Yes, definitely. And, that's probably one reason why I do the job I do, because my husband was the risk taker, right? So I wanted somebody had to be the stable one at home. But, I think the other thing I see is how do I put this? Getting out of that employee mindset and getting more into the employer mindset, if that kind of makes sense with what I mean. It's, a lot of people come in and they say, well, I want to do this business, but I want to make sure I get paid the exact same amount that I got paid with my job. I want to make sure that I take home my paycheck every 2 weeks and do the same thing. So that right there is, that's an employee mindset.
Then you need to get a job.
Yeah, exactly. The other things I see besides the risk, somebody that has, and they always hate it when I say this, but you have to make sure too that you're good with your finances and well capitalized. I mean, it seems like to us, it seems common sense, but to some, they don't realize that you just don't save up money for the business. You also have to be saving up money for your personal life, because what if you don't have sales over the summer? What if you don't have anything coming in while you're renovating? How are you going to still make your mortgage payment? How are you going to do this? So it's both sides.
So to that point, to us anyway, what we look at when we're financing small businesses and so on, is we want to look at their business plan, because I think that is so critical. So talk to the importance of putting together a business plan.
Yeah, well, so the plan is that key word in there. It's making people stop and think about their business and who's their customers, how are they getting them, how many employees they need. And, really with the business plan, there's two parts. There's the narrative portion that's telling your story, but then there's the projections that are proving that story that you just told. And that is the key thing. And so we do not do any of the writing for you. We do not tell you what your numbers should be. We definitely do research. We do a lot of hand holding. We're trying to pull that information out of people's heads, because a lot of people get really nervous about writing a business plan. And so that's why we're here, and we really help guide you. But also too, I just don't want to see one paragraph of, I'm going to open up this and it's going to become a huge business. Well, how? What does that mean? So that's where we try to get people to take a step back and think and see if the numbers add up.
I think that is so critical. And when we talk to folks who want to start their own businesses or think they want to start it, it's taking that idea in your head and putting it on paper.
Yep.
And you have to be able to do that, because at some point you're going to be seeking investors, unless you are already independently wealthy. But it even makes sense to make sure that you are validating your idea. And a lot of times what we have found, you think you have a great idea, and then you start to put it on paper and start to do the research. And sometimes it will tell you your idea is not quite as great as you thought it was, and therefore you can abort now and save yourself a lot of money, because you're not going to make that investment because you're doomed to failure. But you have to respect the research, because some people get so passionate that regardless of what the information's telling them, they are determined that they're going to open that business, and that can get them in trouble. But the other part of it is you have to be able to convince an investor or a lender who you're saying, please, I want you to invest, or I want to borrow money from you, and they're typically going to say, how do I get repaid? And your business plan has to convince them that your idea and your business is going to allow that to happen.
Right. Yep. And other examples I've seen too, where people have a great idea when they're talking about it, but it seems all over the place.
Right.
And once you tell them to start writing it down and rereading what they write, they're going, wow, I seem really scattered. I don't know if I could do this. So it is a great exercise just to do. Talking about going in for to investors, even if it's a bank, or even if it is to getting.
It's going to your uncle.
Who knows? Yeah. And so, we try to do coaching on that. And also, too, what's great about the university is we also get to participate in the community and at the university with our pitch competitions. And so we're really trying to educate those younger students, too, that this could be helpful when you're going in for a mortgage. This could be helpful, anything, right? And you're learning about finances, and you're learning how to relay useful information and show that return. And
it's all free.
And it's all
Most
free.
of it. All of it, or just
What my services,
Yeah.
all free.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, well, I can't say free. Sorry, at no charge.
Okay. Right.
I'm funded by the SBA, Small Business Administration, and the Pennsylvania Department of Community Economic Development, and then Shippensburg University. So our services do have
No
to be no
charge,
charge.
correct. Yep.
Yeah. We do not charge for anything. We used to charge somewhat for workshops, but we don't do that anymore because ever since COVID, we could do everything online and our center is not as large. So
What are some of your workshops?
we really only do the first step at our center now, which is just like, what is being a small business owner? What does that actually look like? What are the downfalls? What are those double-edged swords that could be a good thing or a bad thing? What does it mean to think about a business plan? So we really do that
Mm-hmm.
10,000 foot view. Uh, so really that's all we do because we're such a small center and we're so personable with the community. We're out there so much. We just don't have that time commitment to be doing.
Because I know when folks come to see us and
Mm-hmm.
they're looking to start a small business, and especially if they don't have a business plan prepared,
Mm-hmm.
we will immediately refer them to you
Yep.
to say you need to go up and see Robin and
Mm-hmm.
Georgina, your assistant
Yep.
at the Small Business Development Center, and they will guide you
Yep.
in putting that plan together, which is going to be essential, again, coming back and looking for those investors. And again, and validating the idea. I can't, from my standpoint, stress enough how important it is to validate the idea. Because at the end of the day, it's either going to say, I'm confident and comfortable moving forward with my business, or I should go get a job,
Yeah.
or don't leave the job I have.
Yeah. And, we don't tell people, no, you can't do this. Like I said, we're just more on the education side of it. But yeah, we've gotten a lot of referrals from you. Thank you. We don't do any marketing. We're not allowed to do any marketing either. And so
Why is that?
federal funding,
You're not allowed to market?
tax dollars.
Okay, so you're providing a service that you're not allowed to tell people about.
They work through
That's
their
kept
partners.
secret.
No, I understand they
That's
work
right.
with
I work through
partners,
that's
but-
right,
but-
boss.
But, yeah,
Yeah. And really, we don't have a hard time finding clients.
no, I'm sure you don't.
We get maybe 10 to 15 intakes a week, and we're changing, and
Wow.
that's just for our 4 counties. We're going to be expanding to Dauphin County starting January
Well,
1.
what are the
Wow.
4 counties that you serve?
So we serve Adams, Cumberland, Franklin, and York counties.
Okay.
And the way that we have it set up is we have a consultant for each county, which I think is very important because then that consultant gets to learn your area. So Georgina, like you mentioned, is here. So she, instead of her needing to know all the partners and all of the resources and all of the programs in all 4 counties, she can really just focus on this one and make it a strong.
You might be one of the busiest SBDCs in the state when you throw Dauphin. I mean, you got Cumberland, the fastest growing county in
know.
the Commonwealth. We're not too shabby
No.
ourselves.
We-
Adams holds their own, and now you're going to throw Dauphin.
I know we have a great area. When you think about our area, just even for the larger businesses that are coming in, they're going to need assistance
Right,
from the
right.
smaller businesses, right? You
Right.
need to have that whole community. You need to have that
It's
area.
an ecosystem.
It's a whole ecosystem, correct? And so when you just think about where we're located at between Washington D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, and Pittsburgh, those are listed on the top 20 globally of startup ecosystems and startup. So we're just kind of smashed between it, and now Lancaster's kind of getting some hits from that too. Plus all of our,
Right.
we're just in the perfect sweet spot down here in South Central PA.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Yep, we are. But I think, so how many businesses you think or how many counseling sessions over the last 19 years you think that your office has done?
Oh gosh, I don't know that answer, but I can tell you we see over 600 clients here. And what I mean by that is people that have actually completed a request for consulting. So let's say you refer somebody to us
Right.
and they actually they call us up. We say, hey, look, we know exactly what FCADC is going to need, what Mike and Dave's going to need. So complete this form. It's just a basic form. Then if they're down here, Georgina will contact them and have a meeting. At that point, that's when they become a client. So there are some times where they just have a simple question like sales tax or whatever. They're not a client. And then from there, she kind of helps walk through and figure out. A lot of times people walk into our door and think they know what they need. That's our job, is to try to read between those lines and figure out what they need, because it's sometimes 2 different things. And try to help get them on those steps there, right? So that's really what that goes to. So we see about 600 a year currently. Now adding in Dauphin could be more. And really a lot of those are generalists type issues. Sometimes we're pulling in our specialist, our environmental specialist, our international, whatever it might be. Out of that, I would say it's a 40-60 split of existing businesses, somebody that's trying to buy a business, to the startup one. And then out of those startup ones, which is what you said, sometimes you don't want them to move forward. Those are successes in our.
No, I think those are
Right,
absolutely
right,
successes.
right.
Yeah. So really, we might have 40 startup businesses a year, but to us, that's a lot of people that didn't start up because
Right.
they learned
That's a lot of startups, too.
it
I
is.
mean, that really is. When you start to add 40 new businesses to the mix every year.
600. That's
Yeah.
how many are in your office?
Yeah, we're really overworked. Don't say
Kinda
that.
sad.
But when you think about South Central PA, even you guys know that with DCED, we can, it's
Right.
a lot of it's historical funding.
So do you so with the businesses that you're helping, do you help them like in terms of their structure, be smarter to be a sole proprietor versus an LLC versus a C corporation? Do you advise on that?
Very little, because that's getting more into the legal realm.
Okay.
So we cannot be a lawyer. We do work with our entrepreneurial law clinic, with the law school up at Penn State.
Okay.
And so that's,
And so they will help.
they help with that. Yep. And it's at no charge.
Great.
Well, see, that's something I think
Yeah.
people can take.
So
advantage
that's
of for
what's
sure.
great about coming to the SBDC is that you get to have these doors that open up to other. I'm not saying that those doors weren't already open. You
Right.
just didn't know about
What
them.
about accounting services?
Accounting, well, I always tell people the accountant's going to be your best friend. So we
Right.
don't do that, but we recommend you get an accountant, which is just a great thing all
But
around.
to that point, do you have a list of accountants, and because what we don't recommend professional providers, professional services, and I think that relationship with an attorney or an accountant, those two in particular are essential. But there's a lot of personal chemistry that goes into that, where you have to be comfortable with one another to be able to do it. Not that, and has nothing to do with the competence of that professional. But if you're not comfortable around them, that level of trust is not going to be where it needs to be.
That's why I said that.
Those two are
Yes.
essential.
The accountant has to be your best friend because they are there to keep you, and that's going to be the one person you're always relying on every year. You don't
Right.
need them necessarily for
Right.
monthly bookkeeping, but you need them for that end of the year and other issues to pop up. So
They can help with projections and things as well.
we do the projections
Okay.
too.
Right.
Do you?
Yeah, we do projections. We don't tell them what their numbers should be, and accountants usually shy away from that because of liability issues. But that's a lot of.
So
us
when
doing
you
it
put
for
those
years.
or if do you review and validate the projections, or do you do the projections?
We will put them into the spreadsheet that we use.
Okay.
So if somebody says they need projections done, we're going to be like, okay, what do you think your sales are going to be? And this, all these things. We'll put it in to the way that it works out with what they're saying, and then we will pull up benchmarks, and then and say, this doesn't make any sense. You say
Right.
you're going to have a restaurant, it's going to be jam-packed from 5 to 11 p.m. at night. You're turning the tables over every 30 minutes. That seems a little odd. I think you need to go do some more research here.
Yeah,
Go
okay.
watch a restaurant.
No,
Yeah.
I would agree with that. And what we've seen too often in those conversations is when the folks put those projections together, it requires everything is going to go exactly as you put it on paper.
Yeah.
And it's not going to, and so there's got to be a contingency built in
Yep.
that says, that one Sunday didn't work out the way we thought it was going to. So we're trying to make up that revenue.
Yep, we're very conservative with how we do our numbers at our office too. So we like to kind of not necessarily have the worst case scenario, but what can you get by on this type of minimal,
Right.
And so the client can see that. And also too talking about accounting. Since we're at the university, we're in Grove College of Business, we can actually utilize some of the professors. So we do class projects.
Okay.
And so we have had ones which have been record keeping and learning, like creating a record keeping system for the business, because sometimes people get nervous about that, right?
Absolutely.
Because whenever you have to wear all the hats, you might be really good at the marketing, you might be really good at selling the product, but you're not so good on the financial. So, so we've done that so the students can learn. Some other class projects we've done so the students can get out in the community. We've done mystery shopper class projects. Those have been fun. We've done service social media. We just did one with drone services. That was pretty fun.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're trying to incorporate more with the students, getting out there, meeting the businesses. I know here in town, Falafel Shack, that's one that we've worked with forever, and the students were hysterical in their presentation. They did mystery shop, and they're like, we didn't think we were going to like it much, and then we loved it, and then we went back next week again, and then we went back with our girlfriend, and then we went back with our mom, and they just got so
Right.
that was good. They had never been there, and so what that all ends up coming into play is hopefully these students then want to continue in this area after they graduate, which is we don't want to have that brain drain here.
Yeah, well, it's interesting too with startups, and sometimes we have this perception that you either have to be in technology or coffee shops.
I know.
Okay, and there's lots of other startups. I can remember Brian Wise and Marcus Plank working on, down on Commerce Street, trying to build trailers that turned into Brymar and in the manufacturing. And same scenario with Cam Superline over in the Waynesboro area. So in our part of the world, we have a lot of that entrepreneurial spirit that has really migrated or matriculated to manufacturing, and I think those are equally as important. And those, there needs to be. So if you have that passion to want to build something, or we have a lot of landscape services.
Yep, we do, and they are just as and. So, if somebody's a high-tech business, we partner with Ben Franklin Technology Partners so they can work with them. Like I said, we're more generalists, but we consider if you're a cleaning business, like you said, everybody gets that hour of our time. We will assist. We treat everybody's business and their ideas the same.
So you, if my math is correct, and it probably isn't, but if over 19 years, and I'm just going to we'll just say 500 businesses on average. So that would be nearly 10,000 businesses, sessions that you've had.
Well,
Give us some of the success stories that
stories
have gone through that you can point back and said, you know what, we worked with them.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Oh, okay. And some of them, I can't talk about because it's confidentiality.
Right.
The SBA makes us do that. So some of them we can't. So let's see here. I like I said, I always love those ones where they show up and they've done all their work and they had that passion and they're doing it. So when I mentioned Falafel Shack, that's one that comes to my mind because he showed up and he was really good at making these falafels. Cheryl, a long time ago, met with him.
I don't even know what those falafels are. But he's a real guy that he is absolutely passionate.
Yeah, he is. And you know what? He didn't just run out and start the business there. He ended up starting at a farmer's market, kind of part-time, learning it, getting to know his customers, building up that base. Then he was able to go rent. Then he was able to buy the business building, and he slowly, to me, I feel like I love to see that because he just keeps adding on to his story. Oh gosh, you had to ask me some of these crazy ones. Yeah, I love it whenever I see the businesses that have an employee that's running it. Or not running it, but they're like the key employee, and then the owner's retiring, and so then you get to see the employee purchase the business. And so I've worked with some of them up in Carlisle with education majors or an education student actually at SHIP who ended up purchasing a business up there related to education. So when you ask specific ones at the top of my head, I'm going blank right now.
Oh, that's fine. No, but I mean, but the point is, I mean, for anybody who's interested in starting a business, expanding their business, and just need, in some cases, they need a sounding board.
Yeah.
You need to schedule an appointment with Robin and her team at the Small Business Development Center. How would they get a hold of you?
So the best way is to go onto our website, which is pasbdc.org/Shippensburg. And that is the best way. finding us on campus right now is a little bit difficult, but we are moving to that new location at Kreiner Hall, which
Which
is
is under renovation, and that will be the entrepreneurial center.
it will be the entrepreneurial center. So that I'm so excited about that. It's going to be great.
So when do you expect to make that move?
So that'll be hopefully renovations will end around summer, but then they have to do some final work like on the outside, inside. And so we actually just had a meeting this morning. And we're talking about scheduling like a grand opening, maybe
Great.
September, October. I'm really excited because that'll be a great place. It'll be that little hive where people can come in and get excited, see students working on things. We're going to have student-made store. We're bringing that to campus where students can start to learn how to sell items and make them and just get back that creativity part that we need for students. You got the SBDC on one side. We'll have the Entrepreneurship Center on another side. We'll have workshops in there. We'll have networking events. So I'm really
No,
excited.
no, and it's easily found on campus. The space
yep.
will be very modern and very.
Yes,
and-
there'll be parking that you can find. It's right behind Old Main. That's the key is the
Yep.
parking. If you put in your GPS for Shippensburg University, it'll take you right to Old Main, and this building's right behind Old Main, so it's
That's going to be great. But again, for those of you out there, if you think you want to start a small business, you really need to make that appointment. And again, as I said earlier, it's a great way to use somebody to validate what you're thinking about. But for those, our experience here has been those individuals who have been successful. They are passionate and they are all in. If you're going to be successful, you've got to jump in with all 4 feet, because to just put your toe in, that's not going to get you to where you need to be. And it's either going to be, and there are going to be times that if you talk to, I think, virtually any entrepreneur, there are times that they wonder why they're doing what they're doing,
Yeah.
and they just want to walk away from it. But somehow they've got that, I don't know, inbred commitment that failure is not an option, and they stick with it. But you are the CEO, and you're also taking the trash out at night, and oftentimes you can be the only one working. I
Yep.
mean, till you can get to a point where you can hire people, and it's interesting to me to see restaurateurs who I think are incredibly successful ones are incredibly entrepreneurial. But when you see a successful restaurant, the owner's the first one there every day, not some days, every day, and the last one to leave.
Yep.
And they are, that's their life.
Yep.
And
Christmas Day they might get
yeah,
pulled
that-
in. You
that-
never
that's
know.
their life.
Yeah.
And but that's what they signed up for, and
Yeah.
they know it, and and they work hard. But that's the foundation of their success.
Correct. Yeah, and and really, when you think about it, that's kind of how our country was founded, right? Like that's the greatest
we're-
entrepreneurial.
We are
Yeah.
the entrepreneurs.
Yeah, and the America's 250th is coming up,
Yes.
so it just I
Nice,
have
nice segue there. I
Yeah.
didn't know we were going there, but that's a nice segue.
but I do have a marketing campaign that we're going to run, showcasing Shippensburg University alumni that have become entrepreneurs out there, and so that'll be a great
That's
way.
cool. So yeah,
Nice.
so
Yeah.
when does that launch?
Well, when does the 250th year starts? January, so we got to get.
I think we're 3 weeks away.
I know.
So-
So, so we're going to be doing that at the university too. So I'm pretty excited about that.
I will not be on that list.
But, no,
Neither
but
will I. I
Yeah.
mean, we know what our limits are.
Yeah.
We know that we can help people.
I stay in my lane.
But
Yeah.
but I think to that point, and I think that's important. I think that I think if you've grown up in a house where it's been your parents or grandparents, they own their own business for whatever reason, you've got a different perspective than somebody who's grown up in where their parents were successful, but they were employed by somebody else. And I think so it takes everybody to be successful. But I think that I believe anyway that the entrepreneurism, you've got to be a risk taker.
You do.
And sometimes you're going to do things that are crazy, and people are going to, and sometimes you don't know what you don't know, and so you go forward, and somebody says, no, 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 don't do that, and for whatever reason, again, failure's not an option, you made it work, but I think that but I think having somebody to help that you don't make a catastrophic mistake, but you got to be all in.
Yeah, and that's where we come into play. So I should say this too, that none of our consultants, they're all full-time professionals. They've all had businesses before. So, we pull in class projects, but we're not making you work with the students 100. So you do have a full professional. Nobody in our staff has been there for less than 5 years. So Georgina came on, I think, 6 years ago. So, when you think about that, how many clients has she then seen or been impacted by? So we've seen it all. And so when you said to what you don't know, people will come in and say, well, I was going to open up this restaurant over here or a boutique or whatever it might be. And, well, you know what? Zoning might be a problem there. Or, you might need that. So we try to highlight anything. No, we're not all zoning experts, but we at least try to alert them.
Yeah, and here's who you need to go talk to.
Exactly.
We're confirm that you can do what you want to do.
Yeah, we're like the little Sherpa guides. And like I said, we're generalists, so no, we can't know every single type of business. But, it's kind of funny, too. I remember, oh, gosh, maybe it was 15 years ago. A guy called up. He had been living in Canada, and he wanted to open up an axe throwing business. And we were like, that's like this. No, we didn't laugh at him at first, but we were like, that's not like really, we're all talking about it in our office. Like, that's just not, look at it. We didn't think that liability would even work with that, and there's businesses now that we wouldn't have thought of, 15, 16 years ago. So.
Oh, no, but and where I was going earlier, and I lost my train of thought on it, is I think that, and this is why I think the entrepreneurial center at SHIP is so important, because I think our educational system is designed primarily to say you're going to college to get a job. Okay, this is now now there's another option to say you can go to college and learn how to start your own business.
Yep.
And you can be the employer and not the employee.
Correct.
And I think just providing that option to young people in particular, I think is a credit to the university and your ability to help those young people.
I agree. Yeah, President Patterson's been really a great strategic leader on that and bringing that more entrepreneurial leadership and mindset to campus for that reason. And even if some of these students don't want to take that risk or don't have they can still then start to experiment in it and learn that creativity portion of it, learn that innovation portion of it. So if they do go get a job somewhere, they could help that company be able to innovate, right? And
having a better understanding how businesses work.
Yeah,
is important as an employee. Yeah,
and soft skills are important too. So we have this internship program right now where. So if you're a small business owner and you don't currently have an internship program with Shippensburg, if you're an SBDC client, we vet, make sure that you're financially okay, you've had employees before, we have some requirements, but we will actually reimburse you for up to $15 per hour for the first year at 100% for these students. And what's really great is that the business gets an internship. We're expanding the amount of businesses that the university is connected with. The business can feel a little bit more secure bringing in an internship, but then also too the student gets to learn these soft skills that they might not necessarily get if they were in, let's say, and I'm not picking on Volvo or anybody, but let's just say like they're in the accounting department of Volvo. Well, that's what they are going to get to learn. But with going and working in a small business, I might be sitting down right next to the president of the business the whole entire time. We might be stuck sitting near each other. And so you get to learn how to that different skill set, communication skills.
Yeah. No, and sometimes that the president of that small business is hopefully you are sitting down because you might know more about accounting than he does.
Exactly, that's true too.
So
yeah,
because
they
don't know, you know what you know, and you're comfortable with making the widget, but you're not always comfortable, doing the accounting for all of that. No, I think it's. but I think what you're doing there is great.
Yeah. I think what's cool too is that you come to the people are like, well, it's just the business planning, but no, we do kind of open up this other world,
Yeah.
and all these other resources that could be available, and even just like I said, the internship, class projects, things you wouldn't have thought of.
So you're offering this. This is remarkable to me that you can't market. So you
Contact
you,
us.
So you have this program. How do small businesses find out about it?
Partners, all of you guys, chambers, legislators.
So we have
Other
to,
clients?
So you're reliant on us.
Hey,
when
word
try
of mouth marketing.
Yeah.
to market the
Yeah.
availability of the internship program.
Even that, yeah.
Because those rules got to get.
And this is not marketing. This is an interview.
But yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The second you said that, I'm like, here, I'll go do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, anytime I can get in front of people, that's
That's
the way we do it. It's
Those rules
almost
gotta-
like
they
guerrilla
have to
marketing.
change.
That is kind of odd, but you'd think if it is tax dollars, you'd think we would want the best return for that investment. So marketing would make sense to at least allow you to do certain things, maybe not commercials, but
Yeah.
basic things, but to drum up more business and people through the door. That way more people.
You would
Yeah.
think. You
Yeah.
would
But
think.
yeah.
Yeah, but maybe one day you'll go down 81 and you'll see a big sign that
We
says,
hope so.
"Come to the SBDC."
Yeah,
Well, I'm just looking up, and time flies when you're having fun.
it is.
So, I'm going to ask you, Robin, because we have a couple other questions
Okay.
for you, and because one of the signature questions we have here, well, we're going to have two for you. You like Christmas?
Mhm.
Okay.
Who doesn't like? Well, I mean, I guess there are some people that don't like Christmas. I shouldn't say.
What's your favorite Christmas tradition?
I always get asked this question. I'm a big, huge Christmas Eve fan.
Okay.
Christmas Day, it's like, you open it up and then
Yeah.
it's just kind of done.
Then it's done.
Yeah. And so my dad and I always just used to watch silly movies on Christmas Eve, like
What's your favorite movie, Christmas movie?
that I did with my dad. Or,
Without your dad, with your dad?
I mean, of course, you gotta love It's a Wonderful Life, but that's not one. Like, he made me watch like Caveman and Big Trouble in Little China. Like, we would watch movies like that on Christmas Eve. And, and it was just funny, and it's just a good family. It's like when some people say Die Hard is a Christmas movie,
Well, I just had somebody tell me this past Friday night that Trading Places
Oh.
is a Christmas movie because Dan Aykroyd gets, belligerently drunk in it, and he's dressed up in Santa.
You can make anything a
I don't
Christmas
know.
movie.
I mean, if you have a reference to Christmas.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah. And so, I mean, those. I think for me, it's just those fond memories of all little different parts throughout in the family and so forth.
That's good.
Hmm.
So you rock and roll fan?
Yeah,
This is
I like
question-
them all.
This is question 2.
Okay.
Who's your favorite band?
Oh gosh. Okay.
Question.
Don't say it.
What?
Just don't say. He knows.
He does.
Go ahead.
Well,
No, go ahead.
I mean, I think I'm gonna have to say, well, it's one.
She's going to be with you.
What's one
Maybe.
band that makes me always happy when I hear it, no matter when? And I'm gonna have to pull out Britpop days from the '90s, but Blur.
Okay.
Was that what? That's totally
No,
not what
no,
you were thinking.
No, but they are a British band.
Oh well.
No, he's a Beatles guy.
Oh well, Beatles. I mean, Beatles are great too, and and then you got jazz. You're like, that's. I mean, there's so many different.
Yeah, you can.
Like right now, I'm just been all about the Carpenters' Christmas album.
Well, okay.
That's a great thing. It's a great Christmas album.
It is a great Christmas album. It's
Karen
great.
Carpenter's one of the great
Oh,
singers
She
ever.
is. I know. So
And drummers.
yeah. So I kind of mix it up depending on my mood, but that's one that every time it'll play,
All
you'll see
right.
me singing.
All right. See that Christmas tradition? Listen to the Carpenters.
Hmm.
And watch
There you
Big
go.
Trouble in Little China.
And Caveman.
Yeah.
I think we threw in some Bill and Ted movies too.
But anyway, Robin, thank you for what you do, and thank you for coming in today. And again, for anyone, I encourage you, If you're looking to start a small business, you need advice, please call the Small Business Development Center at Shippensburg University, and they will be glad to work with you. And we appreciate you taking the time to be with us today.
Yeah. Our phone number, should I do that?
Only if you
717.
want somebody to call you.
Yeah, 717-477-1935. Or go onto our website, pasbdc.org/Shippensburg, or just do a Google search for Shippensburg University Small Business Development Center.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right.
Again, thank you. And David, I think we're
done.
We're done.
Yep. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Survived.